train to the Plastic Underground. Approaching the station, please stand away from the platform edge.
It's been a long road, getting from there to here. It's been a long time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Plastic Underground. This week I have a cool little build for you guys. It is from Star Trek Enterprise. I made the phaser, the hand phaser from Star Trek Enterprise. This is a pretty cool little build. It turned out pretty good, and the cool thing about this guy is that it actually pops open, and I also made it so you can take the battery cartridge out, or whatever it's called. I don't know 100% what it's called, but yeah, so it clips back in with a magnet, and then it closes with magnets, and it's all made out of foam, 100% HD foam. And well, actually I used mostly floor mat foam for this build. So I got patterns for you guys. I'm going to show you how I made it. This this build is actually a little bit more like personal to me. I made a couple of these about 3 years ago, and has a little bit more of a personal meaning to me. And yeah, so I might put out a separate video on that, just a little bit of a like background story to why this is such a personal item for me. But this is going in my collection of all my other Star Trek stuff, and I hope you guys like the build. Hope you make one for yourself if you like Enterprise. And yeah, so now I got 2 Star Trek phaser builds out of foam. So check out the video and send it to somebody who's a Star Trek fan. Alright, so I am doing this project on some EVA floor mat foam, and I'm going to start here with these 2 basic shapes, the handle and the ammo part, the top part of the handle. So the handle is 3 pieces of this floor mat foam. They get cut into squares and then they all get glued together. So I'm using some of this 5mm Silly Winks foam. I get this from Hobby Lobby for pretty cheap. And this is the top part of the phaser here. And I'm just cutting that out. And then I'm just putting some contact cement on all of that. And then when it dries, I can just start pushing those 2 wedges together. This helps it to have that curved shape. And then I also kind of heat this up with my heat gun and shape it a little bit more as needed, just so that it fits a little bit better. But I do that after the glue is pretty dry. If you heat it up at this point, you can separate those glue areas. So this goes on the top of the back of the phaser, but it's 5mm, so I'm just getting that cut out now. And I'll go through and I'll trace and cut out all of my 2mm patterns here. And this piece here is 5mm or 6mm, which what I use, but the 5 works just fine. And then going back to the handle there, I always scuff up the back of these textured floor mats just so the glue sticks a little bit better. The glue does not like to stick to that with it not being sanded because it's too smooth. And just putting a little bit of contact cement on there and using a scrap piece of foam here as a squeegee and just kind of squeegeeing that around. And I put 2 coats on all of these sides. And once that's dry, then you can start to stick these together like a big foam sandwich. And the one that I drew the handle on goes on top, obviously, so I can see it to cut it out. So I push these together as best I can, but another thing you can do is use a piece of PVC pipe as like a rolling pin, and that just kind of helps push everything together. And then once you cut it out, you can push it together a little bit more. You can see where stuff hasn't been pushed together. Cutting this out is tough. I have made 3 of these before, and I always have used like a scroll saw or a bandsaw to cut these out. So with my blades here, I'm just using the big one to get the big chunks off, and then using the small one to kind of cut through layers that are curved. So here's my first mistake. I put these 2 pieces on first. I glued these on to both sides, and then when I went to put this top piece on, I kind of noticed that it was like it it had a lot of overhang, and I realized that I didn't put this on first. This piece here is a 4mm piece, so I am gluing together 2 strips of 2mm foam, and yeah, I can't believe I forgot this part. So I was able to get those top pieces off in one piece relatively, so I didn't have to recut them. But yeah, so you cut this 4mm piece out here, and this goes on first. This kind of makes up the bulk of the back of the phaser. So then you can go ahead and put these pieces on. Like I said, these are still glued together. I was able to peel them off pretty easy because they weren't glued on super long. So I got lucky. And yeah, so these just get glued on there on both sides. So that kind of adds the bulk that you need. And then you can put this top vent piece on here, and it fits perfectly. So then I use my template here to mark this spot on the top part here. This is where the rod will go through, the Chicago screw. But in the meantime, I'm using this little piece of plastic piping here and pushing that through, and just making sure that it all kind of fits together and it lines up where I want it to line up. Then I can go ahead and start to glue my handle pieces on here. These are 2mm foam, and one side is cut longer so that it wraps around the inside of the handle, and the other piece here is not quite as long. And all I do here is I just kind of trim one side, and then I push the other side over and trim that side to fit. And then you can go through and patch these later if need be. But then I go through with my Dremel here, and I just kind of smooth everything out, smooth over all the overhangs, and just kind of smooth out the gun, the phaser in general. The top corner here gets beveled pretty heavily. It's more of a round shape than a square shape, so spend a lot of time on that. This 2mm piece goes on the back part here, this little vent part, I guess. So that gets stuck into place. Then I start to work on this little piece here that goes on the bottom of the gun. This little round part. I have no idea what it does, but I make this 20mm by gluing 2 10mm together, and I start to roughly cut out the circular shape, and then I will clean all that up with my Dremel later. Just sand it and smooth it out. Make sure you cut that inside piece out. and then gets stuck on there. This little 2mm piece gets glued on the handle on the side, and it wraps around to the other side. And that little see-through window part there, that should be in the center of the back of the handle. This is some 6mm foam here, and this is the phaser. This is the part that the emitters get glued onto. It also helps keep that shape. These are some 4mm detail pieces here. I don't know if these are control levers or intensity switches, but they get glued right there. And now this little rectangle gets cut out, and I sand the one side of it to make it a more of a rounded dome piece, and that gets glued right there. This is the trigger piece. This is 4mm foam, just cut out, and then that gets glued right up there. And then you got to make a little circle piece. And that is the secondary trigger, I suppose. That gets glued right there under the first trigger you put in. And I used 5mm for that. So now I got these little rectangular magnets that I'm going to be using. So I marked those, and now I'm just kind of scraping that top layer of 2mm foam out so that the magnet will glue flush into there. So just add a little bit of glue in there. I stick the magnet in there. Then I use the top of my pen to push it in and hold it while it glues. Using a Sharpie on the magnet, I can push this against the magnet where I want it to be, and it'll leave this little mark where the other magnet needs to be. So I glue one on the top and one on each side, and that helps it close and stay shut pretty good. Now the inside needs a little bit of bulk, so I am just tracing 5mm foam on here and gluing these little wedge pieces in here, same shape as the phaser itself. And this just helps add a little bit of bulk, and so you can't see through that bottom gap when the phaser is shot. And it also adds a little bit of rigidity to that piece so it doesn't flop around when you open it. And that is pretty much it for the construction of the phaser. So now we can move on to these emitters. This is a piece of 1-inch PVC pipe, and I sanded the inside of it to make it kind of sharp, and then you can use that to twist and cut out foam. And then this piece here is the same thing, but it's the reverse, so the outside of the PVC is sanded to the inside just to make it a smaller diameter. So that big one, that gets 3 pieces. It's 30mm, and the bottom piece is a 20mm, so that's 2 pieces glued together. Then I kind of round out the top part there and just kind of give it a bevel. Then I go through and I add the actual emitter part where the laser comes out, and then that can get glued on the top. And then that other piece there gets glued on the bottom. I give it a quick heat seal to open up that gap that I cut with my knife. Now I cut out a piece of floor mat foam that will fit in there. This will be the battery pack, or is what I call it anyway. So using some glue sticks here,
because they're the right size. Just kind of mark them, and I cut this to length, and then this top part here, I just cut that at an angle. Now, using this pen cap, the same way I use the PVC pipe, I can cut out these chunks of foam as circle tubes. And then I can just slice these into thinner chunks. And these will become the top and bottom of the cell part. And then I use this cutting wheel to cut in some grooves. And then lightly using the heat gun, I kind of remelt the glue stick so that they're not like flared out from the cutting. And I glue those in place, and then I add some more magnets to the bottom of this battery pack here. And so what I do is I glue 2 on there first, then I stick 2 more magnets on top and add a little bit of glue to the bottom of those magnets. And then I can slide the battery pack into place where I want it to stay, and then hold it there till the glue dries. So that is how I line up the batteries, or the magnets. So then these channels here, these are tough. These are not fun to do, but I just went slowly using the stone bit and just kind of grinding these out. So then moving on to a little bit of foam clay. I'm just using this to patch up some of the gaps, and I didn't have that many, which was kind of different, because usually I'm always kind of patching something. It's just this little bit back here. There's this little seam between this 2mm piece and this side piece. So I just push some clay in there, and when it's dry, I just use a soft stone bit here, and I just kind of grind and shape that, smooth it out a little bit. And I do the same thing with these handle parts here, these little gaps. So to seal this all up, I'm using some Mod Podge mixed with some black acrylic paint, and I put about 4 coats on this. I just keep going until it soaks into all of the foam. Then I start off with a silver paint. I ended up not being super happy with the bright silver, so I switched over to an aluminum, which I'm a lot happier with. It's a more dull silver. It's not a super bright metallic silver. And then I can go through with some tape here, and I tape off all of the aluminum on just this top part of the handle, because that big piece there is going to get sprayed this dark metal. This is some pretty sweet paint. I like this paint a lot. I wish I had more projects that I could use this stuff on. And so yeah, that gets 2 coats of that. And after that is dry, I can go through here by hand with just some black acrylic. And I spend time first on making sure that I get painted in between all of the trigger, and then I can also take my time to get along like the edges and the seam lines, just to kind of build up my border first. Same way like when you're painting a wall in your house. You paint the edging, between the wall and the ceiling and the floor first. Then you can go through with your roller and paint large sections without worrying about getting, you just get close to where you cut in. So I do the same principle, just smaller. But yeah, so I put like 2 or 3 coats of black paint on this handle. And then I also make sure that I paint these vents black too, just to give them some depth. I don't know in the show if these are like open vents that have like mesh behind them, so you can see like when the battery coil gets hot. It makes sense that it would be, but I can't remember if I've seen that specifically. But I also make sure to paint the inside of the emitter black just to give it some depth too. And then I can paint these battery cells with a little bit of red just to give them some color. That whole battery pack too was sprayed with the aluminum paint. Now I go through with some bright silver and I paint the emitter a bright silver just to give it a little bit of difference and kind of break up that flat aluminum. Now the battery pack can go in, and then that top part there can get put on top. Now to hold this together, I buy these things. These are called Chicago screws, or I've seen them be called post screws. They're basically just a long tube, and with threads on the other end, so that way you can put this post all the way through, and it ends up acting like a little lever. And it also like it screws into that post, so it kind of holds it in place and acts like a lever. So it's those are pretty handy to have for a lot of other things too. But yeah, that is it. That is how I made the phaser from Star Trek Enterprise. I hope you guys liked it. Check out my other Star Trek stuff, and I will see you guys the next time we make something cool.